At any point, did any of the doctors or specialists say anything like, maybe you should consider terminating this pregnancy?
No, we have a Catholic, or I have a Catholic OBGYN.
Okay.
Yeah, and he is like amazing. And he is like really the reason why I have gotten better. Like between him and my NP, between the two of them. And I'm so glad we ended up, prior to getting pregnant, choosing a Catholic OB, because that was something that was never questioned. And that's something that was like so important to us. So no, to answer that, no, like that had never been something that was brought up to us because we had chosen a Catholic OB. But there were people in our life who had been like, you're really sick. You're really sick.
That was going to be my next question. If somebody would like kind of nudged you in that direction.
What was the question of like, you're really sick. Like, how are you pregnant and really sick? And like, you're just going to get worse. And like, what happens if this like makes you even sicker? Or like, what if you can't even deliver and it ends up putting you in a place where you're worse off or you pass away? And so like some people were getting like to the extreme and others were just like, why would you want to deal with this when you're already like dealing with a lot? But that was something that was shut down pretty fast, and it wasn't brought to us by a ton of people. It was just kind of a question of like, well, why would you even do that to yourself if you're already so sick? Like, why would you? Which is, again,
how do you answer that? What do you say?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you like right off the bat like what I would tell people because it kind of like took me by surprise every time. So I don't think you can have a really good answer when you're just like surprised, but it was something along the lines of, you know, this baby is a gift no matter what.
Yeah.
God is going to do what he desires for our family, for Abraham, for me, and for this baby. And we are going to trust in his plan and his divine will. And if this baby is only supposed to be in this womb for a couple of weeks, then we will like fall on him. If this baby is supposed to be born, we're going to fall on him. If this baby is gonna like, if I'm gonna get more sick, we're gonna fall on him. And it was just kind of like whatever his plan is his plan, and we're gonna trust that it is good, and we're gonna just turn back to him, which is something that this whole year of being sick and then finding out we're pregnant has done. Like we have very much learned how to just trust, and that was just saying like we're gonna just trust. And sometimes you have to blindly trust, and it's absolutely terrifying. But that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna remind each other on a day-to-day basis, especially during the difficult moments, that you just need to trust him.
Yeah, and speaking of just trusting and healing, right? Like she didn't start really drastically getting better until she got pregnant.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely insane. Like night and day. Like it is so true. This baby is like helping reset her. Like she didn't start sleeping until she got pregnant.
Really?
Yeah. So I was drastically underweight when I got pregnant. I was 95 pounds. I should have been 130 at least. So, and then I was like, just to give you kind of perspective of like how baby's healing, right? So in one way, I like was able to put on weight back to a place where I was no longer anemic, which was great. And then I was able to like be hungry again because of being sick and having all these food aversions, and like then being afraid I was going to go into anaphylactic shock. I kind of had this weird thing with food. But now I was pregnant, I was hungry. So I was like, I was able to gain this weight. And then we didn't find out this till like June. So that the baby had been healing me through the gut microbiome and the stem cells. And this to me is just absolutely fascinating.
So this is what the doctors told you?
Yeah. Yeah. And so,
Wow.
so this is like, bear with me here because my terminology is not the medical terminology. It's how I interpret it.
Of course.
Right?
As a layperson.
Yeah.
Yes.
But okay, so we all have a gut microbiome, and what that is it's your like your gut, the good and the bad bacteria in your gut, right? And a baby does not have the good and the bad, right? Theirs is like perfect while in the womb.
Because it's sterile.
Yeah,
right?
it's like a sterile environment.
Okay.
Right? So until baby is eating their own stuff separate than mom's like breast milk, their gut microbiome matches mom's. Okay, so what's happening right now while in the womb is baby's is like perfect, and mine is all messed up, but mine is learning from baby's how to correct itself. And so to the point where like now there's certain things that like I was allergic to that I'm no longer allergic to, or like one of the big things that ended up getting a candida overgrowth in my gut, so an imbalance of the good and bad bacteria. And what babies is teaching my along with like diet, right, is that like let's give you the good stuff, like this is the good and this is the bad, and so learn from mine. And so my gut is learning from babies. And then the stem cells, which is like when we were told about the gut microbiome, they're like, yeah, this does like sometimes happen. But the stem cell one, which is the one that's like stumping some of the research doctors at Baylor, are so to like, again, this is so interesting, but baby stem cells are like, baby's very healthy, right? I'm not. My stem cells are looking at baby stem cells and going, ooh, that's what we should look like. Let's try to correct. And then they try to correct, and then they don't do a good job. And then they go, okay, let's try again. And they try again, and each time it's getting a little bit better. Just a little bit. And so what's going to be fascinating about all this is seeing what happens like once baby's here.
Yeah.
But like right now, baby's gut microbiome is healing the yeast overgrowth in my gut. And then the stem cells are healing just like kind of the immune system that is really messed up right now, which is like incredible. That is just absolutely incredible to me to think of, like from such a young age you can like heal. Right. And like you're calling, like God is calling this baby to so much, but like right now they're just growing. They're just doing their thing. Right. They're just being they're just growing.
Being a baby. Yeah.
Being a baby. But on top of that, they're like helping me get better, which is incredible.